most dangerous relationships don't trap weak people. They trap good people who were never prepared for psychological warfare. This doesn't happen because they can't see what's wrong. It happens because something inside gets activated before logic ever gets a chance to speak. Good people don't enter toxic relationships thinking they want chaos. They enter thinking they can understand it, fix it, or help it grow into something better. And that right there is where the entire pattern begins. Because toxic relationships rarely look toxic at the start. They look like potential, a version of someone that feels almost right, almost stable, almost safe. And good people are naturally drawn to potential more than reality. They don't respond to who someone is in the present moment. They respond to who that person could become in the future. That gap between reality and potential becomes the emotional doorway. From there, something subtle starts to happen. Good people begin to invest emotionally before there is any real safety or consistency. Instead of asking whether the person is stable, they start asking how they can help them become stable. And once that shift happens, they are no longer just in a relationship, they are in a responsibility. They become the calm in someone else's chaos, the understanding in someone else's confusion, the patience in someone else's inconsistency. And slowly, without noticing, they stop evaluating the relationship equally. They start managing it. One of the strongest psychological traps that keeps this cycle alive is inconsistency. Moments of warmth followed by distance, attention followed by withdrawal, closeness followed by emotional coldness. This unpredictability does something very specific to the brain. It increases attachment instead of reducing it. Because when affection is not stable, the mind starts chasing it. It starts trying to predict it. It starts trying to earn it back. So instead of walking away, the person starts thinking, maybe it will go back to how it was at the beginning. Maybe if they try harder, things will stabilize. Maybe the good version of the person is still there. But what's really happening is conditioning. The emotional system is being trained to chase relief, not love. At the same time, good people rarely recognize early warning signs as final. They reinterpret them, they explain them, they soften them. Instead of seeing behavior as a boundary violation, they turn it into a story. Maybe they were hurt before. Maybe they don't know better. Maybe they are just going through something. This is where empathy stops being healthy and starts becoming distortion. Because the more empathetic the person is, the more they begin to tolerate what they should be stepping away from. And once that tolerance grows, boundaries start dissolving. And when boundaries dissolve, toxic behavior doesn't feel shocking anymore. It starts feeling negotiable. Then comes a deeper shift, the savior mindset. At some point, it stops being about connection and starts being about fixing. It becomes, maybe I'm the one who can help them change. Maybe I'm the one who can bring out the better version of them. And once that belief forms, the relationship is no longer balanced. It becomes a mission, and missions always require sacrifice. Time, emotional energy, self-respect, and internal peace slowly get traded for the idea of saving someone. The more they fail to fix the situation, the more they invest in it. Because walking away would mean accepting that their effort didn't change anything. Meanwhile, the emotional pattern becomes more intense. There are highs and lows, moments of affection followed by emotional distance, moments of connection followed by confusion. This creates a cycle where the brain stops valuing stability and starts valuing relief. Because the relief feels so powerful compared to the stress that came before it. And slowly, that cycle forms dependency. Even when things are clearly unhealthy, leaving doesn't feel simple. It feels like withdrawal. Because the nervous system has already linked pain and relief to the same person. At this stage, the relationship is no longer just emotional. It becomes chemical. Predictable instability becomes familiar. And familiarity starts to feel like attachment. A lot of people assume this only happens to emotionally weak or naive individuals. But that's not true. In fact, intelligent and emotionally aware people often fall deeper into this cycle because they try to understand it instead of stepping back from it. They analyze behavior, they look for patterns, they assume clarity will eventually fix confusion. But toxic dynamics don't respond to understanding, they respond to participation. The more you engage, the more you get pulled in. Over time, something else happens quietly. Disrespect becomes normalized. What once felt unacceptable starts feeling like something to tolerate, not all at once, but gradually. Small boundary breaks first, then slightly bigger ones. Then things that would have once ended the relationship become part of it. This is how emotional desensitization works. The mind adapts not to what is healthy, but to what is repeated. Eventually, even when awareness kicks in, leaving is still difficult. Because now it's not just about the other person anymore. It's about everything already invested: time, emotion, energy, hope. The idea of starting over feels heavier than the pain of staying. So the mind starts negotiating. Maybe things will change. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I can still make it work. And beneath all of that is something even deeper: identity. At a certain point, the relationship stops being something you are in and starts becoming something you are attached to being part of. It becomes tied to your emotional identity. So leaving doesn't just feel like ending a relationship. It feels like losing a part of yourself. That's why good people don't just walk away instantly. They detach in stages, slowly, internally, sometimes long before they physically leave. And when you trace it all back, the reason this pattern repeats isn't because good people are weak. It's because they were taught to value patience, endurance, and understanding in situations where boundaries should have been stronger. Those are good traits in healthy environments, but in toxic dynamics, they become entry points. Toxic relationships don't break love, they exploit it. And once you see that clearly, the pattern doesn't disappear immediately, but it stops controlling you the same way. If this is starting to make sense in a way that feels uncomfortable, that's usually the first sign you're seeing the pattern clearly for the first time. Because once you understand how this cycle actually works, you stop calling it love confusion. You start recognizing it as a system that repeats itself in predictable ways. Dark Mind Academy breaks down these patterns so you can actually see them for what they are, not what they feel like in the moment. Now I want you to think about this and drop it in the comments. Which part traps people the most in your opinion? Hope, attachment, or the fear of starting over? And be honest with yourself while answering it.